Hello everybody, welcome to UK Gaming Network. I'm Brian, also known as UK Jens Zoidberg, and it's once again that time of year when we eat turkey, tell bad jokes, give presents, and of course, stay inside playing Amiga games. What if you wanted to play games that got you in that seasonal spirit though? That's what we're here for today, as I count down my personal choices for the best 10 Christmas games on the Amiga. Only full games are included in this video, so don't go expecting the demos of ATR, Dizzy or Fire and Ice to be included. And they were all either released commercially, given away on a magazine cover disc, or they're simply available to download for free today via websites such as itch.io. As always, this is merely my own opinion, and feel free to disagree with any of my choices, but without further ado, let's get to the list. Let's start with a game that was a full commercial release, albeit a budget one, in 1992 from Zeppelin Games. This is a surprisingly entertaining platformer that nevertheless gets bogged down by a number of flaws. The lack of an on-screen indicator for the location of presents means that a lot of annoying backtracking if you miss one. Making the entire bottom floor spikes on the opening level is appalling game design, and the lack of sound effects for me is a problem, even if the music is perfectly fine. The further you get through the levels, the better the game gets though, which is what makes it worth playing, and that's why it's on the list. The full game of Super Delivery Boy has had a demo available for a couple of years now, with no sign of the full game getting released. The Holiday Shift was a Christmas-themed gift to everyone that the developers at Niso Games released in 2021. It's a single-screen platformer that feels very much inspired by the original Mario Brothers. Collect coloured presents and deliver them to the correct recipient at the top of the screen. You get 100 seconds to deliver as many as you can and set a score for the next player to beat. It's bright and colourful, and the controls are responsive and the music is cheery. If the full game is half as entertaining and playable as this, we're going to be in for a treat. Chances are you've probably played a variation of Lumberjack before. It's been available in so many places, it's even one of the cabinets in Arcade Paradise. This doesn't really offer anything different from any version that you've played before. It's just that now everything is covered in snow and you're wearing a Santa costume. It looks great, and aiming to beat your top score is just as insanely addictive as it's always been, though you will find that the rendition of Monty Python's Lumberjack song will be stuck in your head for the entire festive season. Sorry about that. If you've browsed the Amiga library on Antstream, you've probably stumbled upon a game from 2021 called Turbo Tomato, where you run around at breakneck speed throwing bombs at enemies. Turbo Santa is basically the same game. It's from the same developer for starters. Only instead of bombs, you pick up presents and throw them at elves, and instead of a sentient tomato, your character is a fat man in a red suit. It's fun for a few games, especially if you challenge your friends and family to a score contest, but nothing more than that. Developed in just 7 days by McGeezer, the same guy who brought arcade-perfect conversions of Bombjack, Rygar and Super Sprint to the Amiga, Santatron is a rock-hard, playable and extremely addictive game that's perfect for a bit of festive cheer. Santa Claus will automatically run up the screen, and the objective is to throw presents down chimneys while making sure that you don't fall off the rooftops by timing your jumps between them. With only one life, you'll be clicking restart over and over again. The game does give you a choice of easy or hard difficulty, although to be honest, you're going to get punished either way. Creator Stavros Fasoulas claims that this arcade arena shooter was inspired by Bubble Bobble, and to be honest, I can't see it. That doesn't matter though, as it's still an immensely playable blaster, and it's a shame that it never got a commercial release. After shopping it around to publishers who weren't interested, the game ended up on the cover disc with the one on their Christmas issue in 1993. The main problem that I have with the game is that it's not instantly obvious how you're meant to play it, in the way that most classic arcade games of this type usually are. Once it does click, however, you'll have great fun, but that initial period of confusion keeps it lower down the list. Just before the release of Syndicate came this Defender-style shooter from Bullfrog, once again given away on a cover disc with the One magazine. Programmer Mike Diskett was one of many coders on the Cyberpunk Classic, and would also work on Theme Park. Controlling Santa's sleigh, you must drop presents down chimneys while avoiding the on-screen enemies. It's not easy, and the controls are a little fiddly at the start. In order to throw presents, you have to be positioned perfectly and tap fire in the opposite direction at the same time. But it's also a very addictive game. Unfortunately, it's dragged down a little by the annoying bonus stage where you try to collect presents while hopping on a pogo stick.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ho, ho, ho!
If you've been following the Amiga scene in recent years, you'll definitely know the name of developer Amiga. They've produced some great games, so it's not a surprise to find this enjoyable festive offering comes from them too. Based on an old Spectrum game by Mike Singleton, and using sprites from The Secret of Mana, this sees jolly old Saint Nick throwing presents at the onslaught of invaders. The easy mode is perhaps a little too easy, as it takes too long to get going, but selecting hard difficulty turns the game into a much more enjoyable challenge. There's a nice selection of music that you can cycle through in the options menu as well. The spirit of the free cover disc giveaway has been kept alive this year with the latest issue of Amiga Addict magazine, where you can get a copy of this gem of an arcade game. You should be able to find the latest issue in any decent newsagent or online at the Amiga Addict website. The link will be in the description. As the name suggests, this takes its inspiration from Robotron and sees Santa blasting his way through level after level of enemies while accompanied by some toe-tapping renditions of popular Christmas tunes. There are multiple control schemes available, including twin joysticks and CD32 controller support, but my favourite is the one that shows that the developer actually paid attention while playing Llamatron. And the fact that I'm mentioning it in the same sentence as that absolute classic should tell you just how much I enjoyed this one. Let's face it, as soon as you clicked on this video, you knew that this was going to be number 1. And in fairness, I also knew that before I even wrote a word of the script. Although there are cover disc demos, it's the full retail releases that you'll want to pick up and play. Psygnosis actually released 2 versions, one in 1993 and another in 1994, and both feature many challenging levels and Lemmings up remixes of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Jingle Bells. It's also got that same perfectly balanced learning curve as the base game, just in case there was somebody playing this who hadn't played the original. To this day, whenever I think about Christmas video games, I think about Lemmings wearing Santa hats. That's just how iconic of the season this one has become.
Let's go!
That's it for another list. Please let me know what your best 10 is in the comments. As part of our annual Game of the Year celebrations, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time to pick my best 10 new Amiga games of 2024. Hope you can join me for that. Until then, happy retro gaming Christmas, and I'll see you next time.